So let's jump straight into the email marketing templates here. So these are definitely your fancier ones. And by all means, please don't restrict yourself to only looking at ones from your industry or niche. You may be in the sales industry and find one in the automotive that works. All of these can be customized quite easily. So you've got a few options on here. You can add in the filters. So the filters, you're able to look at, a variety of different ones by searching via category or tags. There's a lot more here by clicking on the show more. You're also able to look at any system you've added in there, but we'll have a look at our all templates and we'll open one of these up and I'll show you how to kind of customize it up a little bit. So if you click on this one, you can click the little preview button here, first of all, to take a look and see what it looks like. You can scroll down on this, and if you're happy with that template, keep in mind all of these elements can be changed. It's more of a layout, first of all, and then you can come in and change the images and the text, words, links, and everything like that as well. These little values down here are just pulling your custom values or custom fields as well. So we're going to use this one as an example here, and I'm going to click on continue. So what this is going to do is it's going to add the template into your library just here. And once this is in, we're actually able to go in and edit it. Now, we'll go through and I'll show you the different formats and the different elements that you can use in the templates here today. And then I'll actually show you how they can be used, whether that be an email campaign or whether that be just sending it out. You're there on the contacts file and you just want to send them a special or promotion. Okay, so we can see we're in the builder right now. Now, I'm going to work from left to right here. So here is where you add elements. These are to manage your current elements. So you can see they're all broken apart into sections as I hover over. And as you drop down, you'll see the different columns and the different elements on each. So these ones can actually be toggled here on and off for desktop or mobile. So you can actually change the way the email looks depending on the device that your user is going to be looking at it, simply by toggling these on and off. You can edit it by clicking on the edit button. And this is going to show up with this little options here on the right-hand side. But we'll go back into our add elements first, and I'll explain the different types of elements and how to add them in. So at the very top, we've got all our different elements that you can put. These range from text, so text being simply a heading or maybe a paragraph that you're going to put in there. We've got our images. This one's pretty self-explanatory. You click on here, you drag it across. You would link in your image link. So you'd upload the image to our media library. You can utilize alt text here or a custom tag, custom fields by clicking on these, as well as a link. So maybe you want that image to be a direct link to your website or to the special offer. You can adjust the height and size here, although it will pre-adjust based off the image that you've uploaded. You can also here change the color of the background and the alignment and spacing by using these sections of the image. Our buttons. So these buttons are great if you do want to have a button that says click here to see the special or click here to visit our website now. Once again, as you add in these elements, you've probably noticed here on the left screen, the features and the options of customizing will change depending on what element you're in. So with the buttons, you can link to a URL. You could maybe have a file download. Mail means you'd mail it on. So send me an email or send our sales team an email. And this is where you just put in that email here. So as soon as they click that, it's going to open up with that straight away to send them out another email to whatever email you're putting in here. Telephone, pretty self-explanatory. Give us a call today and you'd put your number in here. And as soon as I click that button, it's going to ring the phone that you've got inputted in that section. Our logos, so very similar to the image, where you'd be basically uploading it first to the media library and then putting in the link directly to the logo. The dividers, so the dividers are a great way to kind of split the emails up a little bit. And by using these, you can create new sections. The dividers have options where you can use dotted dash. You can increase the height of them, the width, make it look a little bit thicker, and just saves having massive blocks of text. Nice way to kind of visually make it look a little bit better. Social, so these are all things Facebook, Instagram. Ultimately, you can toggle some of these on and off. If you don't have Pinterest, you can just come in here and delete those. And each one of these will then need a URL. So you'd be linking in your Google Plus or your Facebook URL right here. So at the bottom of the email, you can have all your socials there. They can click on it and it'll take you straight to that social page. All right, the next element that we'll look at is our footer. So this is often what's found at the very bottom of the email. Exactly what you see here, there's already a footer on this template, but you add this in. It just adds in a little bit of a, hey, if you want to unsubscribe, click here. Location email is going to pull from your business profile email and put that there, as well as the current year and your location name, which will be your business name. So that'll pre-populate all of that there if you're utilizing the footer element. Now the code, this is if you want to get tricky, you've got a dev or you know dev yourself. Here you can come in and put your own HTML. So you can actually add in the little HTML snippets or features in here. Keep in mind that you wouldn't, make use of say like JS or any of those types of codes. But you could utilize some CS by utilizing the style brackets in here. Once again though, there's no need to use code if you don't know it. Don't worry about it. But it is here for those devs that are looking to, customize it a little bit more than the elements here that we've got to offer. The next one's our video element. So in our video element, you're able to attach a URL, or you can actually upload Wistia, Vimeo, YouTube, or a HTML5 element. And you can also change the thumbnail that's displayed here, as well as the sizes. Okay, so our next element that we're going to cover here is our shopping cart. So our shopping cart, basically this is a cart, and you can come in and once again, edit this up, change the different things that are going to be in this as well by clicking on the edit. Our RSS header and RSS items, so these are more for feeds. So if you are going to be like feeding these out, maybe an email campaign or something like that, we have great help library on RSS feeds and making use of those. Now, without a layout, without a section, you cannot add an element. So if you've ever run into the issue and you're here, let's just get rid of a couple of these. And if by any means you accidentally do what I've just done here and you didn't mean to delete it by clicking on that little delete button, we do have the undo button here. So rest assured that is there. But let's say you're here and this is our only section. You cannot just drop an image here. You will need to first add a layout. So our layouts are these ones here. So this is basically the whole way across. And keeping in mind, you need to build top to bottom. So you can't just pull this across and drop it. That's not going to work. You're going to need to pull it right here. You're going to need to see that blue line. And as long as you can see that blue line, you'll then be able to drop your layout. From here, you're able to specify whether it's content width or a full width one, the color, any patterns you'd like to use, your patterns, and you can actually decide on, your different columns here. So if you did want to have it split across maybe a 30%, 66%, you can do it there, right down to 4. The content, this is basically where you'd be adding in your elements. So you'd then put in your text element, you'd put in maybe an image element, and maybe a text and image again. So that's a little bit of an overview of our fancy email builder. This one here, this is to customize the appearance. So we've just looked at elements. We've looked at managing the elements and how to kind of go through and customize these or toggle them on and off for different devices. And finally, our appearance. So this is where it'll look at an image. So if you want to have a background image for the entire one, you can specify that here, as well as the background color and body color. This is standard styling for buttons. So if you've got a number of different buttons and you want to style them all, you'd change your styles here, as well as dividers. Any custom CSS you'd like to add into the email can be put here. Once again, it does need to be between the style brackets just because it is still a HTML. But this is where you add in your custom CSS and you can style different elements of the email. And our mobile formatting, which is a relatively new feature. Basically, you can toggle these on and specify the font size for mobile formatting. So that way it's resizing based off the device there. Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. All right. So what we're going to cover now is if you click on these little 3 dots, Once you build out your email, you can either test the email. So keeping in mind, if you have utilized any of the custom fields, so, you're specifying the contact's name or anything along those lines, they're not going to come across in the test email. So don't be alarmed if you've got dear contact name from username and that comes blank in this test. Ultimately, when you're sending out a template, it needs to be attached to a contact to be able to pull that information and data. So you can test the email by simply typing the from address here, and this would be the address that it's being sent from. So maybe youremail.com. And sending the test, so this is where it'll be received, and the subject, keeping in mind you do have the option there to make use of those custom fields as well. Here, you can also preview what it's going to look like. So you've got the option there to look at it on a desktop, a tablet, and a mobile as well. Make sure that you're happy with that. You can also edit the name here as well. You can see the version history. So each time you're making a change and you're hitting save template, it's actually going to create a new version. So maybe, you've utilized one template, you've tried it all out, it's been working really well, and then you change it up, and all of a sudden you have no results. Well, you can always come back and restore the previous version by clicking on the version history and having a look at the different ones, and then clicking on this restore to version. So, if we want to take it all the way back to where we were here, we can just click on restore this version. Okay. Other than that, we do have the settings as well. So in the settings, this is the default from name. So this is your name or your business name, from email, as well as any preview text. So the preview text that's actually going to show up in the email. So, when you're looking at all your inbox and you've got that little preview text, you can actually specify what's in here, as well as the subject of the email as well. Other than that, that's a little bit of an overview of the fancy email builder. We'll jump straight this time into templates. And you can see we've got a number of different templates here. But what I'm going to do is actually jump into our text and email. So there is slight differences between text and emails and what you can do. Ultimately, a text, you can't really have like an attachment the same way as you would with an email. So this is what our text templates look like. And this is where, test one, you'd give it a title. This title is not going to be displayed to the customer or lead. This is purely going to be for your internal purposes when you're trying to find the template somewhere and send it out to someone. This is where you then utilize the text. So we might go, hi, contact name. How are you? You can see what it's going to look like here in text format as well. And you'll get an approximate cost of how much that'll cost as well here. Now, you can put in files. Please keep in mind that these files will be a URL. So if you are wanting to send an image or something, you'd attach that there, put the file in, and that would send across as like a URL or a picture, depending on what you've got. Once again, we do have the test. So if you want to see what it's going to look like on a mobile device, you can always put your number in here, send it across, and it'll come through that way.